We hear a lot of perspectives on the Mankind podcast. Inclusion of a guest is not an endorsement of their views, and the opinions expressed here do not always represent the mission or values of the Mankind Project USA.
G'day and welcome to a recording of the Mankind Podcast, the show where we break the molds of modern manhood to
prove that there is indeed more than one way to be a man.
Really, we're just simplifying manhood.
No, we're not. We're complicating masculinity and manhood and all of these concepts that we've been fed, spoon-fed all of our lives, and we're just like, wait a minute, what else can we see about that?
Well, it depends which of us you listen to.
There we go. Brandon, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my man. Great to be with you.
Yes. So we got onto the call this morning just to do our check-in, and you asked what the resolution was for the year. So I told you a little bit, but why don't you go first and then we'll circle back. So
Yeah, I'll kick it off. So I was on the local radio this morning. I do a monthly spot with them, and they usually have me come on to talk about masculinity, manhood, and such, the usual topics. But they wanted me to come on and talk about New Year's resolutions, and something that I've got a bit of experience in my time, running gyms. And January is a very popular time that people want to come in and work on their bodies and such. And so the topic's fresh in my mind. But yeah, we came on. I said, "What's your resolution?" And Boysen, you shared with me freedom. Tell us about that.
So for a number of years, I don't know that I set that's not very specific, right? That's a word. So I have regular ongoing accountabilities, stretches that I've set with my men's group and set with my wife and to do things. But what we did over the weekend and what we've done for a number of years is take a nice long walk out in the woods and have a conversation about what our words for the year are going to be and kind of set an intent, right? I love the idea of intention setting. There's something about the essence of it. So, and what came to me immediately as soon as Kendra asked, what's your word for the year? It was like freedom. And in my head, I'm hearing either Mel Gibson doing Braveheart, William Wallace character, or I'm hearing George Michael's singing freedom.
So you've either got a choir behind you or you're getting your genitals cut off.
Something like that, yes. But so what does it mean to me, right? Freedom. This year, I recognize that what I want, the intention that I want to hold is freedom from and freedom to. So I want to be freed from some of the fears and anxieties that I've been carrying that are holding me back. And I want to be free to make more powerful choices with intention as I'm moving through the year. So I can hold on to a single word, right? I can have that inform what I'm doing during the day. It's something I can meditate on.
Well, and I think resolution was not the right word. To me, it sounds like intention.
Intention, yeah.
Yeah. What is the intention for the year? Because my wife and I every year we do our annual, we call it the State of the Union, and we look at our 10-year goals, our 5-year goals, and we look at our last year. And recently, we've been on a real trend of really over smashing our goals, which has been great. And I think that's much in part to these meetings we set up. But now we were looking forward at the next year and what does this year mean for her? And she shared grounding was her intention. She wants to do better at grounding herself and pausing before reacting and stuff. And I'm really proud of her because she picked something that was, it wasn't just a gimme. It was a challenge. And that really encouraged me to do the same. And interestingly, in this show, we try to break outside the rigid definitions that we were spoon-fed of manhood and masculinity. You know what my word is this year, Boysen?
What is it?
Providing.
Oh, nice.
I've got a new job, and I've got it's a phenomenal opportunity for us as a family because of the nature of it, how much time it gives me, outside of work and how I can leverage it. And it feels really good to see my contribution to the bank account go up. And I've been trying to buck that forever. I was a stay-at-home father, and tried to dance around these historical ideas of what men are supposed to do and this and that. No, I firmly believe men. It's up to the individual to determine what that is. But I feel such a sense of pride of seeing my contribution to our bank account and how that contributes to our greater vision and our goals. Mm-hmm. But it's not just financial. That's probably the bigger one. But it's also providing experiences. Providing memories, providing magical moments, providing relief for my wife when she's had a massive day and she's exhausted and Bindy's running around like crazy. And I just rub her feet, make her a cocktail, make her a tea, get the massage gun out and just run along her back. Like whatever it is, I really want to feel that sense that I actually am providing and redefining what that word means. So I didn't see that one coming. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, reflection or, something a bit more woo, but nope, providing.
That's great. Yeah, really nice. I resonate with that. So how do we simplify or complicate this idea, right? Because provide and protect is kind of one of those memes about men and manhood and masculinity, and this is what we're supposed to do, and da-da-da-da. But what I'm hearing from you is that something in your body, in your mind, your heart, your soul is calling for that, resonating with that. So what do you make of it?
What I make of it is I kind of frame it like I lead an accountability call on Mondays with a good friend of the podcast, Mike Patterson. Anyone within the Mankind Project knows and loves the great Mike Patterson. And the way we approached these accountability calls was not so much what is the outcome that you want, it is what is the state of change that you want to create. So what is the state of change or the state of being? So in the next 66 days, which, we use James Clear's Atomic Habits kind of range, 66 days to create a lasting change. And we go in 66 days from now, what change do you want to create in your life? I want to be less reactive in my marriage. I want to be healthier in my habits, right? Really superfluous kind of things. Nothing you can really track and measure. It's just an idea of a state of change. Yeah. So we start with the ungrounded idea of it. I want to be less reactive. Cool, let's run with that. What habits need to be implemented? What behaviors need to change in that time? So working backwards from that, what are the steps that are necessary to make that possible? So in fact, in Q4 of 24, my commitment to the group was to actually be a better provider. That was the state of change I wanted to create. So I'm actually really just riding the momentum of what was created. Nice. Yeah. And I found this job, right? And I started selling things around the house that are collecting dust that have a lot of value to them. And I started, instead of Christine planning our vacation or our weekend trips, I started planning those trips, providing those moments, those memories, because I had the accountability. And that's something I spoke about on the radio this morning, was the power of accountability. Having others witness you in those goals to remind you when it gets tough and you forget and things get hectic and busy, to go, hey, on January 3rd, which is the day we're recording right now, you told me that you wanted to achieve XYZ by ABC. So that's kind of the setup, I would say, is, who do I want to be this time next year? Or how do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And then work backwards from there.
Yeah, cool. Beautiful. Riffing on that, I'm going to shout out to a friend of mine, Christopher Fern, and his organization, Energy Economics. And he teaches a daily mindset mastery practice. And one of the pieces of that mindset mastery practice is setting a daily intention. And then he does weekly intentions and monthly intentions in different calls. And the intention, and you just said it, right? So the intention is around something I want to be, something I want to be doing, something I want to have, right, in my life. So that's the big framing piece. And then we line up actions, accountability, right? We line up actions to go along with that intention that we set. And I love that you brought in the accountability partners, accountability call that you're doing. So, I had first men's group of the year on January 1st.
Wow.
12 guys in circle.
How many hangovers?
None that I know of. Who didn't ask. And this is what we did. We went around as our kind of work statement for the night was around setting an intention. And then what is it that's going to get in the way of that intention? And what do you want to do to create that more of that intention in my life, in your life? So for me, this freedom thing was right there and present. And what do I need to create more freedom? And it's counterintuitive, but discipline is actually what I need to create more freedom in my life.
So there you go. You got the vision and then you got the mission.
Yeah.
Right. And so mission is about how do I execute what's necessary to achieve said vision. So freedom is the goal. Discipline, man, I'm sensing some Jocko Willink energy out of you, Boysen.
There is some Jocko Willink energy in here. And yeah, good stuff. What's the book?
Well, discipline equals freedom.
Yes, discipline equals freedom, but extreme ownership.
Oh my gosh, that's on my Mount Rushmore of books right there.
That is a really good book.
Yeah,
because if I want freedom to do more, freedom to make powerful decisions, freedom to have the things that I want, if I want to be free from fear and anxiety, actions that I take are setting up regular habits, setting up regular patterns, setting up things that I can rely on so that I've got the actions and systems in place to keep myself moving.
Well, and this all comes back to integrity too, because I think, I don't know, January 1st of 25, it's really an arbitrary date and number. You could do this on May the 4th, 25. Like it doesn't necessarily matter when the starting, but there is something about the new year. It's close to the equinox that we can measure this change. And if my intention is providing, well, it's pretty easy to recognize when I am not in that place.
Yeah.
Right. When I'm choosing leisure over doing the thing that needs to be done. Right. When I'm choosing distractions over submitting my invoices or whatever that is. So it really does create some cool guide rails to make sure that, nah, man, this is what I committed to. I've got accountability set up to make this happen. This is the change I want to create in my life. And it's just left foot, right foot, course correct along the way.
Nice.
Heck yeah. But I love that. I love that. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? And what do you want to have? I love that. And in fact, shout out to Chris Fern. I'm going to steal that because I am hosting and leading my men's group next Tuesday. And that's going to be the theme. So I'm going to send them this interview. And as a kind of a preface to what we're going to be doing. Because I think there's something great about being witnessed while staking some claims of what's going to be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to bring one more into the frame. One more thing that has kind of popped into me over the last few days of contemplating this. And here's how it showed up for me in meditation. Play the instrument you have.
Ooh. Unless it's a recorder.
If that's your instrument,
snap that father mucker in half and throw it in the trash.
If honestly, if that is your instrument, play the instrument you have. I notice in myself, my ADHD, squirrel, shiny object tendencies. I tend to say things and make commitments to things that are like new things, right? Like this year I'm going to, pick up the guitar and learn to play bass and blah, 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 and I'm going to do whatever it is that I do, right? I have to get honest with myself that those are just bullshit distractions from playing the instrument that I have.
You just pinned me.
Right?
Yep.
Like,
guilty.
Okay, so what is it that I have fallen back on? What is it that is in me, in my DNA forever? I've been singing since I was, a third grader. That's my instrument. So I'm not going to learn to play the guitar. I committed to getting a voice coach. What is my instrument? I'm a writer. I've been writing since words are my instruments. Commit to doing more of that instead of taking me down some shiny path into some new thing, go back to what I'm good at and what I'm built for.
Yes, I love it. Well, and something that we said on the radio, which was, what's the why beneath the intention or beneath the resolution? What's the deeper why? Because for most people, it's lose 10 pounds, because most of us gained that over the holiday season. But it's like 10 pounds. What is 10 pounds? In England, it's stone. In Australia, it's kilos. What does that number even mean? Is it being able to run around and kick a football with your kids? Is it being able to run around and kick a football with your grandkids? Right? Or is it trying to be on this planet long enough to witness those magical moments as your grandkids grow up and graduate and whatever? Getting close to the why, I believe, is one of the most important pieces. You shared yours around freedom. I shared mine around providing. And because motivation doesn't live in the head, it lives in the heart. Mm-hmm. And that's where the fuel and the energy comes from. And so you can leverage emotional triggers for this. I don't like doing my invoices, but if I reframe it to, dollars and cents in the bank account, when I submit this thing, it's reflected in my bank account. So I can reframe it that way to go, no. And why am I doing this? Well, when this money hits my bank account, you know what it allows? That's going into our trip to Uluru when we fly to Australia in March. That's paying that off. So we don't have to think about it. We don't have to throw it on a credit card. Like, it's there. So and that all comes back to the providing piece. There's a through line there.
Nice.
Nice.
So what else do we have to say to the people? I don't know that we need to say anything else.
No.
Keep it simple.
Recap.
Keep it simple. Set an intention. Know what the intention is about. Know what you want to be, do, or have in the next year so that you can look back next year. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot happens in an hour. It doesn't seem like a lot happens in a day, but you're going to look back over this year at the end of this year and say, holy shit, look what I did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been fun, dude. We need to share the mic more often because, we have incredible guests. We really do. But let me just say to you, you, sir, are brilliant. And your experience and your wisdom, I love bringing that out to our listeners.
Thank you, Brandon. Hey, Happy New Year. I love you, man.
Love you too, bro. It's going to be a great year, 2025. Here we are. This has been another episode of the Mankind Podcast, produced in association with the Mankind Project USA. We have been your hosts, Boysen, Hodgson, and myself, Brandon Clift, and we want to thank our guests for joining us today and imparting their wisdom from their experiences in this amazing journey called life. If you want to find out more about today's guests and support them in their mission, you can find links to them in the show notes. Now, if you have found gold and insights that you believe could benefit your loved ones and those you care about, be sure to share it with them. And of course, we are always grateful for a rating and review of the show on iTunes. Now, above all else, we've got to thank you, the listener, because through your attention and your support, you have made it possible for us to let men all over the world know that they are not alone and that there is more than one way to be a man. And if something in this episode has touched you, then perhaps it is the call to action to get involved in men's work. With live trainings happening constantly and in-person trainings happening all over the world, the Mankind Project definitely has something for you. Now, if you've enjoyed the music in this episode and all of our episodes, be sure to check out Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors. I have links to them in the show notes. And lastly, just know, what it means to me to be a man is completely different than what it means for you. That is the beauty of this journey. So if you are looking for guidance, support, and community as you begin to unpack and dive deeper into your men's work journey, then you know where to find us. Same place, same time, next week. Lots of love. We'll see you then.
Hey, it's Boysen here with the Mankind Podcast. We are closing in on 100 5-star reviews of this podcast, and we have a goal. Brandon and I want to get to 250 5-star reviews. So help us out, will you? Please go to the Mankind Podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a review. Thank you. Hey, it's Boysen. On the Mankind podcast, we've brought some incredible guests on to talk about the importance of doing the work to improve our mental and emotional health. And here's the truth. Multiple times over the last 25 years, I've had the help of one-on-one work with some amazing therapists. For me, for my wife, for both of us as adoptive parents, and for our kids. The Mankind Project and Men's Group, though awesome, are not a substitute for professional mental health support. And so I'm thrilled that the Mankind Podcast now has BetterHelp as a sponsor for the show. BetterHelp works online. It asks you what you're working on and then matches you for live one-on-one sessions with a licensed therapist, someone trained to work with you, listen, and offer helpful insights. I'm using BetterHelp. It's super easy, and I like what I'm getting. If getting one-on-one support in the comfort of your own space feels like a good direction for you, I invite you to check it out. Go to the link in the show notes or betterhelp.com/mankind. And if you sign up, you'll get 10% off your first month of therapy.